In today's video, we're going to be having a look at the Bitcoin because Bitcoin is king. We know that currently sitting at the very important resistance, and we're also going to be having a look at Celer Network. Celer Network has been flying recently, so we're going to be diving into these two coins, but starting off with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is king, and right now the market is a little bit shaky, a little bit confused because Bitcoin is currently above it's 0.21% only, so we don't have a big pump from Bitcoin, but let's dive into Bitcoin. So, guys, starting off with Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, very important. If I zoom in and I extend this right here, we have a nice little healthy consolidation channel going up. Now the question is, are we gonna break to the upside or are we gonna break to the downside? Now there's a few things we have to look at before essentially taking a trade, okay? So number one, if we get rejected by this area right here, okay, and we close below on the daily time frame, that's a very bad sign. Now another thing is, if we break below this trend line and we start going to 43, high 42,000, we close above right here, then we're most likely gonna come down below. Now Bitcoin has been consolidating in this pattern for quite some time now, as you guys can see. So it's going to be actually very interesting to see how this plays out, if we end up seeing a breakout or a breakdown. Now there's a lot of bullish signs, of course, and news that we've been hearing recently. So it's going to be very interesting how this happens, or how this breakout happens. But another thing that I do want to have a look at is this triangle. So we did break out of this triangle. Now a retest is possible. If we come back here, is very possible, coming back to 40,000 before going back up. So that's good news on the TA side, is that we did break above the symmetrical triangle, which is very nice. Now we're also going to be having a look at the Bitcoin dominance in just a second, just to see if an alt season could potentially be here or not. But before that, let's have a look at Celer Network, because Celer Network has been pumping, guys. We're up like 60, I believe 60%, something like that. We're up 67% in the past 2 weeks. So that is a fantastic coin in my opinion. This is the trend right here on the log. So can we come back and retest this level at 7 cents? That is very possible. We did have a double bottom. Well, I don't know if this is a double bottom, but we did have a sort of a double bottom right here. And of course, guys, very big pump. We do have a resistance, short resistance on the weekly time frame right here. So this is definitely something we have to look at. If we manage to break above this, I wouldn't be surprised if we can make a range to the 7 region, which is what we spoke about a few seconds ago. Let's dive in on the daily time frame though, which is quite interesting. On the daily time frame, guys, I don't want to say the negative part, but not the great thing is that we're pretty oversold right here. We're currently sitting at 72. Now for those of you guys who don't know, anything that's above 70 is overbought. Sorry, not oversold, overbought. And anything that's below 30, or on the RSI at 30, it's oversold. Now investors are usually looking to sell when we hit that peak at 70, and are usually looking to buy when we hit that peak. So right here we hit 70, boom, we saw a nice little uptrend. Okay, another time we hit 70 right here, boom, another time right here, small little pump, and then another time. So we see that every time we come back down, we usually have a nice little increase. But now the thing is are we going to stay in this region? Will Celer Network stay in this region, maybe consolidate before going back up? Or are we going to go to the upside? That is definitely something we have to ask ourselves as well. Another thing is that Celer Network is above the EMA ribbon, which is very important. We haven't been above it since the 19th of January, guys. That's almost 2 months. That is 2 months, actually. Over 2 months we haven't been above the EMA ribbon, which is very interesting. Now the most interesting part is that we actually didn't have more than two green candles above the EMA ribbon. Look at that, we only had one and then two red ones. Now for confirmation, I personally like to have two green closure, and look, we haven't had one since the 7th of November 2021. So if we end up closing this candle in green, that would be very bullish for Celer Network layer 2 protocol bridge. I compare this to Matic Network, so it's going to be very interesting to see how and when this how this is going to happen. Essentially, moving on to the 4-hour time frame, very healthy growth right here. We are seeing same thing that we saw happening on Bitcoin, as you guys can see. Let me remove these indicators. So we had this nice little pattern going on, this nice little channel, and guess what happened? We were bouncing, broke that resistance, boom, broke to the top, made a nice little rejection right here, which is currently this local resistance and these two peaks right here. So that technical analysis does work. Now, Stellar Network is a coin that could 10x, 20x, even 30x from here. So it's definitely something to, you know, do your own research about. It's going to be huge in my opinion. Of course, none of this is financial advice, but very, very interesting to see in my opinion. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin dominance, guys, on the daily time frame real quick. So Bitcoin dominance has been falling on the daily time frame, as you guys can see. We did break this nice little trend line right here. So the Bitcoin dominance is getting a little bit weaker. But another thing is that we are in this nice little descending triangle. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, descending triangle is bearish. So can we break to the downside is the big question. Now, the great thing about this is that a lot of people are not as I don't want to say pro Bitcoin, but there's not as many Bitcoin maxis out there. So a lot of money is flowing into altcoins right now at the moment, which is a great news for the altcoins, because before they would just die. And now we're seeing great momentum into the altcoins. So now the thing is, are we going to see a massive alt season? Very possible. I'm going to do a more in-depth video about the alt season coin chart tomorrow. But the question and the answer to that is yes, it is very possible that we will see an alt season very soon. Of course, if Bitcoin consolidates or is able to crack above this resistance, which we are currently witnessing right now, but it seems like this could be a potential reversal on the daily time frame, then it's going to be very interesting. We know that reversals, you know, it's getting weaker, bears are getting stronger. It seems like the bears are really defending this level right here, but we're going to have to see the next weekly candle, which starts in about 9 hours and 55 minutes, so about 10 hours. We're going to see a new weekly candle. If you guys like this video, of course, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.